Welcome back. I'm so grateful you're here, listening in, watching in, tuning in. This episode is a special one. We're going to talk for just a couple of minutes about survival mode, a case of the blahs when you feel like you're stuck in a funk as a working mom, and how to understand that from a nervous system perspective. And then I'm going to invite you to, if you aren't already prepared after reading the show notes, I'm going to invite you to push pause, put on a pair of walking shoes, and try out one of my favorite nervous system regulating walking guided practices. So I thought I'd put a little bit of magic into this week's episode. So we have all been there, that stuck in survival mode, just trying to get through each day, either just feeling in a funk and like you're not able to get it together and show up like your best self. You're feeling reactive. You're feeling overly self-critical. You're noticing that you're excessively worrying, like that you're making a bigger deal out of things than you would like to be, and you know that you're doing it, but just can't seem to get yourself to stop. Or maybe it's looking a little bit, this funk or this case of the blahs is looking a little bit more like feeling overly preoccupied or scared with other people think of you. Or maybe you're just struggling with low mood or anxiety, and despite doing all the things you already know to do to help yourself in that place, nothing seems to be doing the trick, or you're just in one of those survival mode moments as a parent where you don't really have time between the work schedule and the family schedule, or prolonged illnesses or unexpected things coming up. Like, this is the normal life as a working mom. Sometimes we're not really able to fit in or arrive early enough at the point in our day where we really can care for ourselves. So if any of that sounds familiar to you, or you just know maybe you're not feeling that way right now, but you have felt that way before, then this episode is for you. And if you're not really relating to the excessive worry or the feeling more self-conscious than usual and worried about what coworkers or your boss or your colleagues or the people you're presenting to or the clients that you're serving or the people in the moms group you're trying to get into, or whatever the case might be, if you're not relating to that, worrying about what other people think about you, the thing that I feel like is pretty universal for most working moms that I talk to, that in some area of your life, you're more prone to high levels of self-criticism, especially when you're dysregulated from a nervous system perspective. So maybe we'll focus there for you today as you're listening, my friend. Maybe it's around your parenting, maybe it's around your interpersonal interactions, or maybe it's around your work performance or projects you've set up for yourself. When you're more critical than normal, that can be a sign of nervous system dysregulation. And we all need tools to learn how to first identify when we're in that survival mode. And then we also need tools to help us move out of survival mode into a more connected, grounded, open place so that we can meet ourselves and meet the demands and meet the stressors and even meet the inner workings of our mind and hearts with our best self in the driver's seat. From a nervous system perspective, when you're regulated, it means that you're within your window of tolerance. So that window of tolerance is counselor speak for the place that you can be, mind, body, spirit, where even if things are hard, even if you're having difficulty with life or projects or your children or anything that's going on in your world, you're still within this, like, I can do it. I feel safe. I feel open. I feel resilient. I feel resourceful. I feel creative. I might not like what's happening, but I can bring a self that feels calm and clear and connected to the table. That self you access when you're in a regulated nervous system state. So when we're in our window of tolerance, we're able to rationalize, we can manage our emotions, we can cope with all of the difficulty or adversity of life that comes our way, people disappointing us, project deadlines changing, kids not being their best regulated selves. We have more patience, more bandwidth to take on their emotions or their short tempers or their impatience or their difficulties. It's actually pretty incredible what a regulated nervous system can look like from a mind-body behavioral perspective. We're open to communication. So we're not seeing our coworkers or our clients or our kids or our partners as inconveniences or something that's too much for us to take on. We're open to connection. We're able to have higher levels of self-compassion when we're regulated. This is so huge. We're able to see our own failures, our own shortcomings, our own parts of our lives or ourselves that are in process and maybe not exactly where we would like it to be. We're able to see that with some tolerance and a whole lot of compassion. When we're regulated, we can access the part of our brains that feels more confident and more flexible and kind of able to not know all the answers, to tolerate a fair amount of uncertainty. And we still feel like we've got this, like, I've got this mentality. Can you feel that, my friend, as you're listening? Like, you know, when you're really struggling and you don't feel like you've got it versus times where maybe circumstances are really similar, but you still got this can do, it's figure outable attitude. That is the difference between a regulated and dysregulated nervous system. When we're regulated, we can be with our emotions, even when they're unpleasant. We can notice them, we can be in touch with them, we can offer them compassion. We're able to kind of work through those negative emotional states much more skillfully and easily when we're regulated. Same with our thoughts. When we're regulated, we're actually able to notice our thoughts with a little more perspective, and we're able to challenge our thoughts a little bit more or offer ourselves alternative ways of thinking about things. It's when we're stuck in our thinking and our thinking is overly pessimistic or worried or self-conscious, we know that we're probably in a dysregulated state. So when you're in survival mode, your nervous system has unconsciously, like, you're not choosing this. It's the beauty of your nervous system. It has found a threat in your environment. And your nervous system pulls from a rich pool of data from your past experiences and from what's happening in the present moment. And it decides, is what's happening right now safe enough, or does it feel like a threat somehow? And your brain will decide if it's important to go into more of a survival, protection, and safety mode, or if it's okay to stay in a relatively open state. It's never wrong to get dysregulated. It's never wrong for your nervous system to decide to move you into a more protective state. What is important is that you know your own signs of dysregulation. And then you can decide, does it serve me well to be in this protective place? Is this serving a purpose that I want to see out and then later move to a calm and regulated place? Or rather, have I maybe gotten stuck unintentionally in a dysregulated place? I'm kind of stuck in the survival mode, and it would actually benefit me to move out of this state so that I can relate to myself, relate to my family, relate to the people in my life, and relate to the challenges at hand in a little bit more calm, grounded, creative, and resourceful place. Now, there are all sorts of really individualized reasons why your nervous system would move toward a protective place. And in the Calm Kit online course, you have an opportunity to learn much more deeply about your nervous system, to map your nervous system uniquely, and to really respect and start cultivating a beautiful relationship with your mind-body connection so that you understand your triggers and the best ways for you to move from dysregulation to regulation when it makes sense to do so. But for today, I'm hoping you're learning something just from listening to what some of the signs of dysregulation can look like and what some of the signs of regulation can look like. And then I really want you to try out in just a few minutes my walking sensory grounding tool. It's one of my favorite ways in about 5 minutes or so to start to coax and urge your nervous system to move to a more regulated state. One of the things that I think is so cool is that you can develop flexibility in your nervous system. So of course you're going to get dysregulated as a working mom. Maybe we should talk about that for just a couple of moments here. But the flexibility that we can train and build like a muscle is the flexibility of building awareness to know where you're at any given moment from a nervous system perspective, and have inner resources that you build and layer and cultivate that help you move back to a regulated place. When I'm having conversations with my peers, my friends, and my clients and my mentees, we're really able to relate to the level of over-functioning that most working moms are maintaining in any given day. We have like 3 parts to the day, right? There's part 1, which occurs before work even starts. That's like a whole day sometimes in and of itself, between the responsibilities of getting yourself and your kids ready for the day, between all of the conversations and emotional band-aids and coaxing and supporting your kids to mentally be ready to deal with their days, to actually getting everyone out the door and wherever they need to be in a timely manner. Sometimes that can feel like a whole day within itself. And then there's part 2 of the day, which is your actual work day, which depending on the work or the season of your work can have its own unique demands and energy demands on the nervous system. And there's no working mom that I know that doesn't carry their own share of the mental burden of all of the to-dos at home, camp registrations, aftercare payments, what your kids are going through, things you need to research so that you can support them as well as possible. Usually most working moms have like 10 different mental tabs open in the background that they're squeezing into the workday, whether it has to do with the home or their own care or family care or maybe even aging parent care. There's a lot going on in this actual workday for most working moms. And then the third part of the day feels like it's a whole other day. It's like the next part of the day starts as soon as you pick up your kids. It's like a whole nother brain, a whole nother set of to-dos, and almost like a whole nother part of your life that you're putting on and re-engaging in. This is the part that you want to make the most of, right? It's such a special part of your day, getting to spend time with your loved ones at the end of the day, but it can also be taxing and demanding. So I think that dysregulation, other than the unique individual triggers for each woman, I think the collective dysregulation comes from the volume of work and demands, the pace, how much other people are relying on you to be the grounding and regulating force, and the relative lack of co-regulation and nourishment and inner supports that most working moms are dealing with on a day-to-day basis. It's one of the reasons why I created the Calm Kit. In addition to teaching you about your nervous system and how to build more flexibility and resiliency in it, it also comes with this like beautiful library of guided regulation tools. And I came about this from my yoga teacher background. So I've been a yoga teacher for over 20 years now. And while I don't teach public classes right now at the moment, that spirit of guiding people through experiences that bring comfort and strength and resiliency to the mind-body connection, it's a passion of mine. But even though I could work my way, I could teach myself through a yoga class on my own, I always like to and still like to be guided. I love going to a yoga class and having a yoga teacher offer me a teaching. I love to at least start a digital yoga class and let that yoga teacher give me an offering. Maybe I'll kind of go off on my own with my yoga knowledge after I get started, but still, I love that ritual of starting a yoga practice with being able to receive, where I don't have to be in the seat of the teacher and think about what I'm going to do and make a plan, that I can just show up to a place that I know is high quality and reliable and know that I'm going to get something that's going to benefit and nourish me in some way. And that's what the Luminary Life Kits guided tools are all about. It's something that you can have a whole private podcast library of resources and tools, and you can push play on it and it will bring something nourishing and beneficial and definitely regulating to your nervous system if it's a Calm Kit guided practice. So should we try it out a little bit today, my friend? I chose this walking sensory grounding because depending on which nervous system state you're in, different quiet mindfulness practices or specific breathing practices might not actually feel right. It might not meet your needs. Just know that, like, if someone says, oh, this is going to work every time, or this is the hack to your nervous system, just to really be honoring of your own experience. Really notice what feels good to your mind and heart and trust it. And so this walking, sensory, and grounding practice may not always feel right to you, but I chose it because more often than not, most people I know, if you just choose a pace of walking that feels good to you, you can even just walk around your house. You don't have to even go anywhere. I prefer that step outside, so I will guide us in that way. But you can really take a nice, slow, just quiet walk if that's meeting your energy a little bit better. Or you could take a nice, brisk pace if that feels more in tune with your energy. I find that getting outside and moving just a little bit and getting to pace it in a way that feels good to you, and then eventually bringing the breath in, that it can be rather successful for many people. But again, girl, you are the one in your own body. And I want you to start believing yourself and trusting yourself and noticing, when does this guided practice work well for me? What moods, what mindsets, what energy levels, and take note of it and use it when it serves you. And when you're feeling like it's not, just keep it as a tool in your toolbox and you'll find another thing that will serve you. But I am excited for you to try it. So this is your opportunity to either push pause and then make a date with me to go on your next walking break whenever you get a chance. Again, give me 5 minutes of your time, or get ready to go. Put me in your ears or just like have me up on your phone. That's fine. Let's get moving. Welcome to the Calm Kit Walking Sensory Grounding Guided Practice. I'm Cara Mayola, and thank you for inviting me on this walk with you today. Let's get our feet moving and find some fresh air and fresh perspective. You'll want to start by intentionally setting a nice pace for yourself. Find a smooth, steady pace that feels right today, a pace that's without rush. Think of taking yourself out on a stroll to really get in touch with yourself and your environment. We'll be practicing today bringing your full awareness to the present moment by tuning into your surroundings and engaging your senses. Sensory grounding can help to signal safety to the nervous system and help move you back to an open, relaxed, and connected state. It can also help you find fulfillment in the everyday, ordinary moments of your life by taking a break from the flow of demands in your schedule or the flow of demands in your mind and find a sheltered respite inside the comfort, beauty, and safety signaling elements of your surroundings. Okay, that smoothness you found in your pace, now can you start to find that with your breath as well? Begin to deepen your breath. Keep your breath intentional and relaxed throughout this practice. Feel the breath gently coming in for a few paces and then gently moving out for a few paces. And start to open your eyes to the details of the world around you. Take in your visual environment with a sense of curiosity and discovery. You'll begin to notice things that appeal to you and maybe some things that don't appeal to you, but for now, encourage your mind to pass over the aspects you don't like and allow yourself to linger in and enjoy the things that you do. As if you're seeing the world coming alive in front of you for the first time, what do you see that enlivens you, that comforts you or delights you? Be on like a little treasure hunt looking for things that are beautiful, enjoyable, meaningful, or soothing to you as you move through your environment. Take a few more moments here, immersing yourself in your sense of sight, really seeing the details of the space you're moving through, and allow yourself to linger on and get in touch with and receive the benefits. Now open your ears to the sounds of the world around you. Let your attention move from sound to sound with a sense of curiosity and discovery. Listen for sounds far away from your body. Listen for sounds closer to the body. And maybe even pause your walk when you find a sound you really want to explore or savor. Sink into it for a beat. And then keep moving. Take a few more moments here, immersing yourself in your sense of hearing, really tapping into the sounds of your environment. Now let's explore the smells in your environment. Begin to tune into the different types of smells around you. You might be aware of scents that appeal to you and maybe a few that don't. But for now, intentionally move toward what does appeal to you. As you're walking, noticing the shifting of the smells around you. What does the air smell like? If you'd like to, go ahead and search out your surroundings and smell things that signal safety to you. So maybe stop to smell a flower, rub your fingertips over a pine or sage bough, or linger for a moment in front of a bakery or a coffee shop. If you can find one scent you enjoy in your environment, give yourself a few deep breaths here. Smelling that appealing item as you inhale and encouraging calm and connection as you exhale. Now let's engage your sense of touch. Begin to notice the textures and sensations around you. Wiggle your fingers and feel the air flowing between them. Really feel these next few steps as your foot makes contact with the earth. Feel these next few breaths, your lungs expanding horizontally out to the sides as you breathe in, and the swish of your arms as you breathe out. Feel the temperature and any sensations of your environment on your face. If If you'd like, begin to interact naturally yet intentionally with anything in your environment that appeals to your sense of touch. Feel the coolness of the pavement, or the rough texture of a tree trunk, the delicate softness of a petal, or a textured surface of a building. Take a few more moments here to really slow down, to feel and touch anything that appeals to you today. And let your brain and body receive even the smaller, more subtle joys of your environment. Let's extend this sensory grounding activity once more. We're going to take a moment to engage all of your senses all together, as if you could press the zoom out function on a camera. Zoom all the way out to take in your environment as a whole. Rotate your attention around what you can see, hear, smell, touch, and even taste if you brought something good to sip on this walk. Focus on the appealing, soothing, or comforting parts of your environment. Take it all in as a whole and feel as if all of these enjoyable sensory details are supporting you, holding you, anchoring you, and increasing your vitality and capacity in this moment. This practice makes everything feel quite precious, actually. There's a really calming aspect to coming into this extraordinary level of attention to your surroundings. To come into contact with all of the little ways the world weaves itself together. To feel yourself as part of something bigger than the world inside of your head. Use your attention to notice the good things, the soothing things. By using the power of your senses and the power of your presence, you're making space to feel the rhythms of the world around you and leaning into a sense of appreciation and awe around how it all comes together and how you're a small but important part of it. Feel once again your feet falling onto the earth. Feel your legs beneath you, holding you up. Feel your next deepening breath. And from this embodied, connected, and calm space, you're ready to move forward with your day. Your walking sensory grounding practice is now complete. Okay, my friend, that was the guided walking sensory grounding tool. What did you think? What did you notice? Like, take note. How did you feel before? How did you feel after? Where do you think this could benefit you? Where do you think you could squeeze it in your day? I love doing it either right before work in those transitions between like the first part of the day and then the working part of the day, or at the end of my day when I'm transitioning from either like the last tasks of my day, like maybe client meetings until some desk work, or desk work before I pick up my son. So that's how I structure it. I'm so curious to know what you think about it and when you use it and if it benefits you. Please drop me a note in the comments below, and I look forward to connecting with you again in next week's episode.